Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies as we continue with Part 12, Qualifications for Membership of the Brotherhood of Man by J.E. Richardson TK. Chapter 12, Qualifications for Membership. That each and every individual may have a clear and comprehensive understanding and appreciation of the responsibilities he voluntarily assumes or is asking that he may be permitted to assume when he applies for membership in the Brotherhood of Man. Let us digress far enough to inform ourselves as to what constitutes the chief qualifications of a good instructor in such an institution. Here they are. Intelligence. Such an instructor must have the intelligence necessary to receive the definite instruction in the form prescribed by the Brotherhood itself. He must be able to understand and appreciate the exact meaning and intent of the knowledge which such an instruction embodies. He must be able to know each step in the process of acquiring an exact knowledge of the full and complete curriculum of study to be covered. He must have the intelligence to acquire a definite knowledge of the exact terminology in which the instruction is formulated and given, and he must be able to give it as he receives it, in the purity of its terminology. Desire for knowledge. He must have an honest and earnest desire to receive the definite knowledge which will justify the Brotherhood in accepting him as a worthy member. Honesty. He must exemplify the quality and degree of honesty that entitles him to the confidence of the members of the Brotherhood with whom he desires to associate himself. He must be honest in his purpose and in his efforts to make only a constructive use of such knowledge as he shall be able to receive. He must be honest in his efforts to give his knowledge so received, in its purity, to those who are entitled to receive it from him in return. He must be honest in that he shall not misrepresent the Brotherhood or its teachings in any way by substituting his or any other teachings for those of this Brotherhood. Courage. He must have the courage of frankness and sincerity in all his dealings and associations with the Brotherhood and all its members. He must have the courage to exemplify the spirit of the teachings of the Brotherhood in passing on his knowledge to those entitled to receive it from him. In this connection, he must know that the highest quality of courage often demands of him that he withhold from his students or fellows the knowledge he has received, even when his sympathy and natural desires would impel him to give it. He must know that his responsibility as an instructor may even demand of him that he suspend the instruction of the student at a time in the interest of the Brotherhood. When this occurs, he must have the courage to discharge that responsibility without the least equivocation or hesitation. If his student proves unworthy of confidence as such, or that he is not ready to receive the knowledge he desires, he must have the courage to discontinue his instruction until such time as he shall qualify for further instruction. Humility. He must exemplify the quality and degree of humility which is free from egotism, vanity of intelligence, self-exploitation, or the desire to command public attention or public applause. He must not seek to command attention or curiosity or fictitious importance or false knowledge through psychic phenomena or expositions of spiritual powers. He must have the humility to refrain from unnecessary talking and from exploiting his knowledge for any ulterior purpose that is not constructive and uplifting and of value to those who hear. He should bear in mind that the fewer the words in which he can express his knowledge and instructions, the less he will obtrude his personality upon his students and distract his attention from the knowledge to be conveyed. True humility is, in truth, one of the rarest characteristics and virtues of a wise instructor. Unselfishness. The qualified instructor will never seek to commercialize the knowledge or instruction he has received as a gift from his instructor to qualify him for the responsibility of passing on his spiritual and psychic knowledge in the course of the curriculum of the Brotherhood. Tolerance. The duly qualified instructor must be free from criticism and the disposition or tendency to judge his fellows. He must be able to differentiate and distinguish between mistakes and deliberate wrongdoings, and exemplify a generous forbearance towards the errors and frailties and the imperfections of his fellow man. He must be kind and considerate with all his fellows. He must be cheerful and trustworthy. He must strive with all his intelligence and strength to exemplify the spirit of constructive service in his own life, that he may thus make it a beacon light to guide the students and members who shall pass that way. While it is admitted that this is setting an exalted standard of individual character by which to measure the qualifications of a good instructor in the real Brotherhood of Man, nevertheless, the measure is strictly within the powers of those who are willing to assume the responsibility and labor in good faith to discharge it to the full limits of their abilities. Does it not seem possible to you, reader and friend, that there is such a brotherhood of man upon this physical earth of ours, having a definite curriculum of study covering so vast a field of actual knowledge as I have so briefly indicated and outlined? Would my unqualified personal assurance of that fact carry with it to your mind any assurance that I have been giving you in substance but a brief outline of a great educational institution which has been in actual existence for many, many years, having a curriculum covering even a broader field than that outlined? Such indeed is the case. The name by which it is known at the present time is the Great School of Natural Science. Moreover, this great school, throughout the history of many past generations, has been seeking to give to the world such of its knowledge of individual life, here and hereafter, as lies within its power. This school has carried its scientific researches beyond the plane of the purely physical inquiry, into realms of the spiritual and the psychical departments of nature. It has accumulated a vast store of definite knowledge in these higher and finer realms of its researches, and is ever ready to pass it on to those who are able to prove their right to receive its instruction. This, however, does not imply that the School of Natural Science has accomplished a definite and exact knowledge of all the facts of physical nature. Neither does it indicate a scientific knowledge of all the facts of either spiritual or physical nature. It does mean, however, that this great school of natural science, during the period of authentic history, has been acquiring and accumulating a wide range of exact and definite knowledge in all the departments and on all the planes of individual life, physical, spiritual, and psychical. It means also that this great school has developed a definite and complete method of imparting its knowledge to the world, as rapidly as earnest seekers desire to receive it and can demonstrate to the school that they are duly and truly prepared, worthy and well qualified to keep the secrets of the masters, and exemplify their teachings in their daily lives and conduct, thus becoming living lamps to guide the feet of the just and true in the way that leads to spiritual life and soul illumination. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.